And welcome to Italy. We're at Monza with the Gravel Trap Legends Classic Opel Eurotour, and this is round 3 and another set of sprints. Eski put the yellow Cooper's stout car on pole alongside Sheps and Sheppo. Turn 1 at Monza is notorious in sim racing for wreckfest type pile-ups. It's a very slow entry into turn 1, and the Opel's greatest weakness is its terrible brakes. However, GTL put on a fantastic display, competitive but careful lap 1 turn 1 race etiquette, and all 24 cars successfully survived to race the entire rest of the circuit at the Temple of Speed. Eski kept the lead, settled in for a proper 25-minute scrap with Sheppo and Sheps and Cuckoo. Eski held second place to Sheppo coming into this round. Sprints only score half as many points as the endurance rounds, so everyone, especially Eski, keen to put on good laps and secure as many points as possible. GTL have really got their heads around the Omegas now. A very torquey 4.1 litre straight 6 making 350 horsepower, no traction control, no ABS, it's got a fixed differential and very average brakes. Two drivers who are clearly enjoying racing Omegas and each other are Left and Rangy. The race for first was intense, but not as exciting to watch as the Blue Hawk and the Green Shapeshifter slug it out in both sprints. These two were always only millimetres off each other's bumpers and always going flat out. Atonje and the Tiger Machine took a punt from Travis, braking for a scurry into and through the gravel trap. No damage done except a radiator full of stones, safely rejoining 5 places down. However, there was a lot of fight in Atonje, and he had a great race clawing his way back up to the front and ended up with a great finish and the hot seat for race 2. The second sprint round 2 is a reverse top 10 grid, with 10th place in race 1 becoming pole for race 2. This format at Hungaroring last week created a brutal battle amongst GTL's fastest drivers in the second race, and they were not going to disappoint the spectators at Monza this week either. Sheppo took first place from Eski into turn 1. Great clean racing from both drivers. Sheppo is the series leader, first at Hockenheim and a win and a 4th place at Hungaroring. There is no question he has the Pirate Life car dialed in. But Eski is no slouch. Bad brakes and fixed diff is Eski's idea of a good time, and you can see the grin from under the helmet. Both guys are happiest, however, when there's a good scrap on track, and they both turned it on for the crowd. Eski got back alongside Sheppo into the second chicane and took back the lead, leaving Sheps in third, wondering where he was going to find a gap, with both of these drivers spending so much time blocking the track going side by side. 4th place was Dukester, Skull and Cuckoo, with the rest of the field in hot pursuit. Rangy has gotten ahead of Left for 7th place. Rangy is another driver who really enjoys older analogue cars, or shitboxes as he calls them, which has found him a good home here at GTL. Left, however, seems equally at home in whatever he races. High downforce formula cars, modern prototypes. He is very quick in everything GTL puts on the menu. Left leads Rangy on the series leaderboard, and clearly Rangy is keen to close that gap, but at Monza he is finding it very hard to shake Left off his tail. K Revinator takes Wagon for 11th place. Rev is racing for Prancing Pony and is another driver who is clearly getting his head around the quirky Omegas. 16th in round 1. Now at Monza he's stuck in and scrapping it out amongst the midfield. And he has found a worthy opponent in Wagon, driving the second Pirate Life car. Both drivers are highly competitive and racing in the mid-pack with the same energy as if it were a battle for the lead, and we love to see it. The mid-pack drivers are only a couple of seconds off the leader's pace. Wagon claws back alongside Rev along the main straight, and they go side by side into the first chicane. Baron in the Lion Red car is waiting patiently behind them for his chance. With battles like this, it often only takes the slightest mistake to create an opportunity. Rangy and Left continue their battle for 7th place, and now with the unseated Atonje knocking on the door, keen to get back into his hunt for a podium. Atonje has rattled loose most of the stones from his radiator ducts, and was back up to full pace. Left took Rangy in the second chicane, enjoying some clean air of 7th, while Rangy has to fight off Atonje. Left taking the opportunity to put some distance on Rangy while he's tied up defending. Up the front, it was a full 5-way scrap for the lead. Sheppo still has first, but Eski, Sheps, Skull and Dukester were all over his tail and piling the pressure on, almost to the point they were getting into each other's way. Shippo loves this type of racing and is happy to let them fight amongst themselves and focus on keeping first spot. Dukester is competing in his first series with GTL, and he is showing good pace, mixing up the front with the big kids. He has a long history in racing, but AMS2 is causing him a few headaches and keeping him slower on the scoreboard than he really should. Another disaster tonight will keep him from making the second grid, but everyone is loving having Dukester on board and helping him iron out his problems, while everyone except for Skull Payne was having a hard time getting around him on track. Back in 7th, Rangy finally managed to repass left. The bad news was that Atonje had come with him and was causing Rangy some serious headaches. And Zach 18 in the blue Cooper Specific car had joined in the action too. Atonje finally got the better of Rangy, but then he bottled it into the second chicane, taking the escape path through the chicane and being forced to surrender 3 places. Maybe not such a problem, as that landed him back in 10th into the hot seat, as that was about to give him pole position for the start of race 2. Some guys are just lucky, even when they're unlucky. The checkers came out for race 1 and Shippo was the first under it. In the chaos of all the fighting behind him, he'd even managed to gain some distance on Eski, who crossed in second place. Cuckoo and Sheps fought it out right to the line, Cuckoo taking 3rd place honours after 25 very intense minutes of racing. Skullpane finally got around the Dukester for 5th, and the Dukester brought home the status quo car in a very respectable 6th place. Rangy took 7th, Left took 8th, Zaki took 9th, and Atonje crossed in 10th place. The remaining 14 drivers behind them would all start race 2 in their finishing order. Atonje leads off the pack for the second sprint side-by-side rolling start, and he gets a clean break. Zach 18 is second, Sheps working the outside line, and Left reigniting his personal beef with Rangy before they even reach turn 1, Left taking 4th very smoothly through the chicane. But it was Shippo who made the big gains at the start. He came out of turn 1 in 5th place, slicing through traffic with ease. In fact, it seems to be Shippo's superpower. When there is chaos around him, he seems to slide through untouched. Another good start from GTL, however it didn't last. Second Lesmos, and there is a 5-car stack. Marky and K-Rev got tangled up, and Travis, Zaki 3 and Unicorn getting caught up also. The GTL safety car came out for a couple of laps, and the damaged cars were able to pit for repairs, and surprisingly all 5 were able to rejoin the race for the restart. And if you think I've exaggerated about Shippo, take a look in Atonje's mirrors. Shippo was suddenly in second place. 9 places in probably less than 90 seconds of actual green racing time. And we'll take a moment here just to watch Shippo and the rest of the GTL crew in action.
Il tuo bacio è come un rock che ti morde col suo swing, è assai facile il knockout che ti fulmina sul ring, fa l'effetto di uno shock e perciò canto così. Oh 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 oh, il tuo bacio è come un rock, i tuoi baci non sono semplici baci, uno solo ne vale almeno 3, e per questo bambina tu mi piaci. E allora baciami così, il tuo bacio è come un rock che ti morde col suo swing, è assai facile il knockout che ti
Stu and Trui were slugging it out in the mid-pack when suddenly Hyperdon, joining GTL for the first time here in round 3, made it a 3 wide down the back straight. Hyperdon, driving the second prancing pony car, was only signed up for race 1, but he obviously enjoyed himself, and equally obviously had a knack for the awkward Opalas, and stuck around for the second sprint, and he brought the action with him. We love seeing these good battles in the mid-pack, as equally exciting as the leaders, but often overlooked in the results. But this is the kind of racing that keeps drivers coming back for more. But it's the leaders up the front who get all of the glory, and it was by this stage a 4-way battle on lap 12. Eski taking Sheppo, with Atonje and Cuckoo in close pursuit. Eski was doing everything he could to keep ahead of Sheppo. He needed the winning points to close the gap on the leaderboard, and he was willing Atonje and Cuckoo to put more pressure on Sheppo and relieve the burden on his own back bumper. Hard driving in the Italian summer heat had taken the best out of the tyres, and the cars were beginning to move around more, and the braking distances were extending. This is really where the good drivers show their stuff, keeping it fast and, more importantly, keeping it clean, as the car does everything it can to break loose on the limit of traction. Both Cuckoo and Sheppo make moves along the back straight, using the draft and then all of their skill to hold the car together on the Parabolica, the very long and very fast right-hander. With the cars bunched up, the draft is very strong, giving the car behind a definite advantage, especially when your car is shaped like a brick. The exit from the Parabolica could easily cost or reward a driver, setting him up for a pass before the first chicane. As the drivers begin their last lap, it was full commitment and no holding back. And it was an exciting, action-packed lap. Cuckoo briefly got into third place, and then Atonje stole a quick look at second place from Sheppo, but as the tyre smoke cleared after an absolutely frantic last lap, it was Eski who took checkers, Sheppo second, Atonje third, and Cuckoo in fourth place. Cuckoo very nearly getting Atonje on the line, just under 10th of a second in it. Sheps and Skolpane took 5th and 6th place, and of course, Left and Rangy took their fight right to the line. Several position changes, but it was Rangy who finally took checkers ahead of Left. What a great battle, spread over both sprints, 2 very good races, and a great result. And the big surprise, after so much action, the leaderboard top 7 have actually stayed the same, only the points gap has changed. Just 4 points separating Eski and Sheppo at the top, only a single point between Cuckoo and Sheps. Left has 3 points over his nemesis Rangy. Travis had a disaster at Monza, and Trui has taken his position in 8th, but he has now Stu and Atonje breathing down his neck. And so GTL moves on to Spa-Francorchamps for round 4 and an endurance round. Lots of drivers looking forward to stretching their legs out for a decent length race. The weather forecast is looking unsettled, and the drivers might have some rain to contend with. Monday happy hour is at Spa, and I hope you'll join us for a Belgian beer and some excellent racing action.
È più forte di te, svendi la passione.